Hey, second grade, Miss Shannon here, back with you again to talk about our story, Baby Bears. We listened to this story yesterday. This is an expository text, which means it gives facts and information about a topic and has text features. Our essential question is how our offspring like their parents. So, in this book, hopefully, you learned a little bit about how offspring, or cubs, are like their parents, the adult bears. Today, we are going to be focusing on main topic and key details as our comprehension skill of the week. Remember that the main topic is what the selection is mostly about, and key details give information about that main topic. This is the graphic organizer we will be using today. We are going to make our own copy of this in our composition notebook. So if you would go find your composition notebook, if you keep it in your banker box or perhaps you've moved it to a new location by now, please find your composition notebook and a pencil and turn to the next fresh page. You are going to include the date at the top and our comprehension skill above the first line and title it Main Topic and Key Details. You are then going to include the title of the story, Baby Bears. I would like you to underline the words Baby Bears because it is the title of a book. Then you are going to draw your own graphic organizer, labeling Main Topic at the top with a rectangle, and then drawing 3 columns down your paper and label each of the columns Detail. Once you've completed this first step in preparing your paper, then you may move on. Please press pause until you are finished. All right, second graders, here we are. You may have noticed that as I switched this slide, I have already included our main topic. Now, our main topic is bears and baby bears. I know this because we read the story yesterday, and we learned that the story was mostly all about bears and their babies. So this is something we can fill in right away since we've already read the story through one time. So right now, under your section titled Main Topic, you can write in bears and baby bears. The entire book was all about bears and baby bears. Press pause and then play when you're ready to move on. All right, so I'm going to skim through the book and remind myself about what each page was about by looking at the text features, noticing the headings on the tops of the pages and any pictures or captions that happen to be on that page, because I've already read the story through one time with you. All right. On this first page, we learned about cute baby bears. We learned that all bears are mammals, and mammals have fur. Bears are covered in fur. We also learned that baby bears have a special name. I see in the caption down below that baby bears are called cubs. That's right. So all bears are mammals, and baby bears are called cubs. Now, second graders, is this a fact or piece of information that is about bears and baby bears? Yes, it is. So since this is a detail about our main topic, we can include it in our graphic organizer. So I have written down my first detail. Bears are mammals. Baby bears are called cubs. I'm including that in my first column labeled detail. I can double check that this detail relates back to our main topic because it is about both bears and baby bears. And this fact is true for all bears. Later on in the story, we will learn a little bit about panda bears and grizzly bears and polar bears. But remembering that our main topic is about all bears. So we need to make sure that all of the details we include can be true for all bears and baby bears. All right? So press pause if you need to complete this section and press play when you are ready. Here we are. This is a picture of a polar bear cub, and the polar bear cub is nursing because mammals make milk. And on this page, we learn about a few different kinds of bears. Like I mentioned earlier, we learn about the black bear, a grizzly bear, a polar bear. So on this page, we learn, boy, a lot of facts about different kinds of bears. But do you think, second graders, that we should include this on our key details? Because if I write a fact down that might only be true for grizzly bears, then that doesn't relate back to my main topic of all bears and baby bears. So we want to look for information and facts that are true for all bears and baby bears. So even though this is great information about the different kinds of bears, it doesn't exactly tie in to our main topic as well as it could. So let's keep looking for a more important key detail. This page was about panda bears and how people used to think that giant pandas were raccoons because they had similar facial features. So again, this is a great piece of information and a fact about pandas, but it is not about all bears and baby bears. So I am not going to include this information in my key details. I'm going to continue looking. Here we see a picture with labels for bear bodies. It says bears have 4 legs. They can walk on all 4 legs or on their 2 back legs. Wow, pretty interesting. This is an example specifically of a grizzly bear, talking about the brown fur covering their body. So second graders, if you wanted to, this would be another key detail, that bears have 4 legs and they can walk on 4 legs or 2 legs, because that is a fact that relates to all bears and baby bears. However, I'm going to continue looking for a more important or meaningful key detail. This page was about bear coats and how bears have 2 different kinds of fur. And we can see there our examples are polar bears and panda bears. Here we are. I'm back to more pictures with bears and their cubs, which we said was our main topic, bears and baby bears. So I'm going to take a look and read about this page again to remind myself what it is about. Bear families. A bear family is made up of a mother bear and her cubs. Most mother bears have litters of cubs. A litter is 2 or more babies that are born at the same time. This mother grizzly bear has 3 cubs. Cubs stay with their mothers until they are 2 to 3 years old. They watch their mothers to learn how to live on their own. Mother bears teach their cubs where to find food and how to stay safe. So second graders, it's time for me to stop and think. I have just read 2 pages all about bear families, mom bears and their cubs. I'm going to choose the fact that I learned that cubs stay with their mothers until they are 2 to 3 years old. This fact or piece of information gives me information about not only baby bears, but also adult bears. That the cubs have to stay with their adult or their parent for 2 to 3 years as they are growing up. So I'm including this as my second key detail. It reads, cubs stay with their mothers until they are 2 to 3 years old. This key detail gives me information about bears and baby bears. So it belongs as a key detail on our graphic organizer. Please press pause and then play again when you are ready to move on. This page shows us what bears eat And on this page, we learn that bears can be omnivores, some bears are herbivores, and some bears are carnivores. So there are lots of different species of bears, and they all eat a little differently. So again, a great fact to learn about bears, but it doesn't give me information about bears and baby bears. It just tells me the different bears eat different food. So I'm not going to include that on my key detail chart. Bear habitats. Ooh, tells me all about the different places that bears can live. Some bears live in mountains, some bears live in forests, some live near bamboo forests, the panda bear. So different bears have different habitats. They live in different places. Again, a great fact and information about bears, but it does not tell me any information about bears and baby bears. So I'm looking for information about both. I'm going to continue looking. Here is some information about winter sleep. And we might know the word hibernate. That is where bears sleep in their den during the winter to stay alive. During the summer and fall, the bears eat a lot of food and they store that food as fat on their bodies. The bears live off the fat during the winter. Mother bears that live in cold places have their cubs in winter. Before the cubs are born, the mother builds a home called a den. The den is a warm and safe place for the bears to live. Many bears make their dens by digging holes in hills or under tree roots. Some bears use caves or holes in logs for their dens. After the cubs are born, the mother goes to sleep. The cubs nurse while their mother sleeps. Now, second graders, this is more facts and information about bears and baby bears. We learned that many mother bears build dens to live in through the winter. And to survive the winter, they must eat a lot and store fat in their bodies to survive and to also make sure they're able to feed their cubs. So that is a piece of information that relates to bears and baby bears. So my final key detail is that many bears store fat and sleep in dens in the winter. So you may go ahead and pause this video as you write down your third and final key detail. All right, second graders, you have reached the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed searching and looking for key details and the main topic of our story, baby bears.